driver's going to speed it up. Green, green, green.
And a few extra laps taken by our simulate drivers as they get the track dialed in and set to go for tonight's E-race activity once again.
Back it down and take it in the back stretch in the middle, guys. Back stretch in the middle, pull in.
Legend drivers wrap it up. The 5J of Logan Jones in the Greencastle, PA. He'll be
up, guys. Wind them up. Guys, stay low on the backstretch, stay low on the backstretch. Back them in, take them in on the backstretch, guys. Back it down, take it in on the backstretch. Again, 13W, check the location of your transponder. If you need help with that, I can get with you as soon as hot laps conclude.
Spring Run, Pennsylvania, the 11, being powered by Scott Musselman, and the 72, being driven by Matt Grebe at Mercersburg, PA. All right, guys, back it down, take him in on the backstretch. Back it down and take him in on the backstretch.
Car stopped at the top of turn 2, guys. Stay low in turn 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2.
Well, race fans, we've gotten to our opening ceremonies for tonight. If you can rise as you are able in the grandstands, tonight we will have our invocation to be followed by our national anthem. Well, fans, this past week, the motorsports world lost the most iconic figure in the history of dirt late model racing with the passing of Tennessee legend Scott Bloomquist. For many years, Jeff Purvis was the gold standard in the dirt world. As Purvis made his move to the NASCAR ranks, the torch was passed to Bloomquist, who went on to rewrite the record books in national competition. His accomplishments were staggering in the racing world, including 4 Hagerstown late model titles, 3 Lucas Oil late model championships, and 1 World of Outlaw crown. Along the way to those titles included 6 Show Me 100 victories, 5 Topless 100 titles, 5 USA Nationals, 3 Dirt Track World Championships, 2 Knoxville Nationals, 2 North-South 100 wins, and 2 triumphs in the Silver Dollar Nationals, 7 of the most prestigious events in the history of dirt late model competition. Additionally, Scott will forever be the all-time winningest driver in Hagerstown history with 100 wins and is currently the all-time winningest driver in Lucas Oil history with 94 victories. Along this storied path, Hagerstown Speedway is proud to have Scott's name in the record books with 4 major wins here, the capital of dirt track racing. Along the way, Bloomquist also joined the technical side of the world, creating his own chassis known as Team Zero, which propelled many drivers to great success, including the recently retired Chris Madden. All accomplishments aside, it was the charisma of this talented Tennessee veteran which drew throngs of fans to his pit area at every event. No matter who their favorite driver was, the Bloomquist pit was always the busiest at any racetrack, with fans just wanting to catch a glimpse of the iconic competitor. Scott was like gravity. Whether he was your favorite driver or not, fans were drawn to him. His charismatic personality and fierceness in a race car will forever be remembered as the driving force that has gained the sport of national late model racing the success and popularity it so richly enjoys to this day. While we all mourn the loss of this wonderful man and fierce competitor, we will forever be grateful for the mark he made on all of us in his racing life and the memories he personally gave us all, of which we will forever cherish. At this time, we ask for a moment of silence in the memory of Scott Bloomquist. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight with heavy hearts for the loss of our brother Scott Bloomquist. You blessed Scott with a gift for racing, and as a result, you blessed all of us with wonderful memories that we will forever carry in our hearts and souls. We thank you for giving us such a wonderful gift in our racing lives and pray that he is now at your side. As we move forward this evening, there are so many other members of your racing family in the pits tonight who continue to give us great memories each week. Keep them safe as they perform the job they do. And please afford the drivers, as well as all your loyal fans and servants, the ability to enjoy the sport and people of which we love so very much. And give us the opportunity to return next week and many weeks to come to spend time with our racing families and friends. We ask all of this in your precious name. Amen. Be heading off to the back end as he is new in that car. That's a Cody Sumption machine that we have seen in competition this year. So Gary will elect to start at the tail end of the field. That's going to put the 65 and Dylan Wilson, your three-time winner and current point leader, right into the #1 spot as we get set for the first 5-lap qualifier of the night in semi-late competition. Brian Kearns very strong last weekend. That 83 machine still hungry for that first victory of the season. He's side by side with Wilson off the second turn as we get things underway on lap #1. Wilson a half-car length advantage. The 81 of Jason Giesemann right there as well, making it a very tight top 3. Add Cody Seitz in there likewise. As the deck is shuffled, Wilson will be your leader of lap #1. Kearns will tuck into second. Giesemann trying to work the low line underneath into third. 99K of Seitz right behind him in fourth. Followed by Walters and Breeden heading down the back straightaway. Semi-late drivers, heat race number 2 to the staging area, please. Semi-late drivers, heat race number 2 to the staging area. And one spinning down to the bottom of turn number 3. That'll be the 30 of Gary Breeden as caution comes out with just a couple laps complete. Getting back up to speed. The drag race is on. Still 2x2 as they work it back into 1 and 2. Going to be Wilson hopping right through turn number 1. Eastman trying to find some advantage down bottom. Not to be. He'll fall a car length back in second with Seitz and Kearns now. The top 4. 03 of Walters, then the 30 of Breeden as he'll come back. 2 laps to go here in our first qualifier tonight. White flag in the air that time by Wilson and Giesemann. Still a very tight 1-2. Only a car length and a half separation. 99K of Seitz back in third. Kearns in fourth. And the 03 of Walter is still making up the top 5. Final turn in the first qualifying event. And the 65 of Wilson making his way back into the top spot as he'll take the first qualifier of the night. The 81 of Giesemann coming up in second. Seitz fending off Kearns and gets that third spot with the 03 of Danny Walters rounding out the top 5. With the final 6 drivers for the qualifying and semi-late action tonight to set the field for tonight's 15-lap main event. Swank on the inside, Snyder on the outside as we get set for the next 5-lap qualifier. Green is out. Swank grabs the lead very quickly as Brady Neff puts that 03 down to the bottom side. Steve Kent, the 1C, powers down low as Schneider goes back into fourth. Kent not done yet. He's got a good line down bottom as he pulls alongside the 03 of Neff back at turn 3 and 4. And Neff will climb the banking. Kent gets the door open. He'll go to second and chase down the 22 of Swank, who leads lap number 1. Raising that left front up, Jamie Swank heading off at turn number 2. Good 10-car length advantage over Kent with Neff Schneider and the 22 of Nick Vogel, the top 5. Swank still in control right now. Once Kent got into second, he continues to have that car twisted up off of those corners. Good look at that. You see that in late model competition, and of course a lot of times in sprint car racing, but you'll see it in lower divisions. We've seen it a lot of tracks, and he brings it back to the stripe, drops that tire down, and takes the 2 to go sign. Kent, the 1C, remains in second spot. Third, the 03 of Brady Neff, followed by Schneider, and then it's going to be the 22 of Fogel as they head down the back straightaway and get set for the white flag. East Coast Legends, heat race number 1, coming up next. White is out, and Swank losing a lot of ground that time. In turn 3 and 4, here comes Steve Kent, the 1C. Oh, Swank's got some trouble. Almost looked like the car jumped out of gear or something, and got a little pop in the rear end. Through no fault of Kent's, had nowhere to go, and now powers to the inside. And off of turn 4, Steve Kent will come away with the simulate victory in round number 2 tonight. 22 of Swank will wind up in second. 03 of Neff in third. Coming home in fourth, going to be the 69 of Schneider with the 22 of Fogel, rounding out the top 5 in heat race number 2. Catch up. He'll be on the inside of row number 3. As we mentioned, he was fastest in the warm-ups tonight. And he'll tuck right in there as we get set for the first of 3 6-lap qualifiers from the East Coast Legends drivers. All right, green flag out in qualifier number 1. 33 of Martin takes him into turn number 1 and 2. But when it's over, the 44, Dalton Freese trying to stick it to the inside and see if they can claim that number 1 spot. Here comes Colton Freese on the number 7. Those two drivers tops 2 in the warm-up laps. As Colton Freese down to the bottom, he'll get that second spot. Martin will be back into third. It'll be the 44 of Dalton Freese leading lap number 1 in our first 6-lap qualifier tonight. Colton Freese back in second spot. Then it's going to be the 33, the pole sitter Kirk Martin holding on to third. Followed by the 21, Kelby Freese back to the number 4 spot. And then the 5S of Scott Haldeschild. He had to start on the final row trying to crack the top 5 early. Well, Colton Freese closing the gap up just a little bit, only about a car length and a half separation for the top 2. Martin holding on to third. He's got Devin Freese right behind him. Haldeschild has now moved himself up into the top 5. Devin Freese go to the high side. He'll grab third off turn number 4 as they come back for halfway. 3 laps complete here on our first of 3 East Coast Legend qualifying. Still the 44, Dalton Freese started third. Plucked off a couple spots early and holds on to about a car length and a half advantage still as he works it back into turn number 3 and 4. 2 laps to go here in our first qualifier tonight. And the 12 of Devin Freese trying to join that party. He's taking a couple different lines. Now Colton Freese kind of takes the peaks on the outside down the back straightaway. But Dalton Freese still holding on to the advantage. White flag will be in the air this time by in qualifier number 1. Tight top 2 as they work it back to the stripe. Devin Freese trying to find that momentum once again. He closes the gap back up. Kirk Martin still back there in 4th, and Haldeschild holding on to the number 5 position. Final lap in the 44 of Dalton Freese shows the way down in turn 3 and 4, right down to the bottom of the racetrack, hugging that guardrail, coming back to the stripe, trying to get that first qualifying win. And it will indeed be Dalton Freese, Colton Freese, and Devin Freese. They will be the top 3 in our Legend Car qualifier. 33 of Kirk Martin, the pole sitter, winds up in the number 4 spot, and Scott Haldeschild from the inside of row number 4 rounds out the top 5 in qualifier number 1. Fire the night, 6 laps to get the distance. Again, East Coast Legends, heat race number 3. You can make your way to the staging area. Legends for heat race number 3 to the staging area. All right, green flag is out as our second 6-lap qualifier for the Legend drivers underway, working their way back through turn 3 and 4, back to the stripe. Huge lead after a very big start initially for the 5J. That'll be Logan Jones. 25, Eric Hurst started the inside of that second row. Right now he's holding on to the outside line. He had second spot. Looks like problems for him. The 25 of Hurst off the pace off of turn number 2.
Take it off on the back stretch.
And
Take it
looks
off on
like
the back
he's heading
stretch.
down the back straightaway. See if he'll be able to make it back in. And cuts it off into the infield area. So we stay green here on lap number 2 of tonight's second qualifier. Again, Logan Jones in control. The 30K of Seth Kirchner started on the outside of row 3. He's already up in his second spot. And then a pretty good dogfight, almost a 3-wide battle as he come off of turn number 2. 6B of Jacob Burdett's tied up in there alongside the 5 of Tyler Rampmeyer as the leaders come back halfway on the board here in the second qualifier. B of Burdett, followed by the 24R of Brian Rampmeyer, and then the 5 of Tyler Rampmeyer. They are 3rd, 4th, and 5th right now as the leaders make their way back into turn number 3 and 4. He got himself a good jump. That would be Logan Jones, but Seth Kirchner, he's trying to reel him in. 2 laps to go here in tonight's second event. Again, Legend Drivers, heat race number 3. You can make your way to the staging area. East Coast Legend Drivers, heat race number 3 to the staging area, please. White flag in the air, meanwhile, for Logan Jones, your pole sitter. Seth Kirchner is still trying to reel him in. He has closed the gap quite a bit, but time running out as the pair works their way back off into turn number 1 and 2. Still going to be the 6 of Jacob Burdett, that 6B machine, holding on to 3rd. And still a good battle back behind them between the Rampmeyers, the 24R of Brian and the 5 of Tyler. Meanwhile, back to the stripe checker down in qualifier number 2. Going to be the 5 of Logan Jones, that 5J machine, coming back for the victory. The 30 of Seth Kirchner. Started 6th, wound up in 2nd, and then a great battle. 3 of them fighting for that 3rd spot. Going to be the 6 of Jacob Burdett coming home in 3rd position. The 24R of Brian Rampmeyer and the 5 of Tyler Rampmeyer. They'll round out.
Guys, top 3 are going to go to the scales. When you go to the scales, you exit off of turn 4. Watch the bumper contact. The first time that I see it, you guys will go to the rear. If there's no yellow, you'll get scored last. The second time I see it, you guys will be DQ'd for the night.
The air for the 3rd and final 6-lap qualifier tonight. Going to be the 31 of Kirchner, trying to get that lead down in turn number 1 and 2. Good tussle going on. The 27, Logan Carball, right in there, started down bottom. Now he's up high, 3 wide, down the back straightaway for the moment. Now going to be the 24 of Justin Cunningham. He tried to grab it from the outside of that first row. Now he's dropped back a spot into 3rd as they come back for lap 1. Going to be the 31 of Kirchner as the leader. The 27 of Carball in 2nd. And the 24 of Cunningham holding on to 3rd. And once again, like race number 1, that battle for 3rd, a good one. 3 cars involved. A little bit tightly bunched together, more so up to those front 2 machines as Carball really pours it on and pulls up to the back bumper of Kirchner down in turn 3 and 4. 2 laps complete this time by. Down to the inside, Carball, the 27. Good slide move as he grabs that lead, but the crossover by the 31 of Kirchner right back underneath of him. And the drag race is on down the back straightaway. They'll stay dead even. Carball to the top side. 31 of Kirchner down bottom. And the next 3 in line trying to close that gap and take advantage. Carball from the outside, back with halfway on the board. And he's got the lead. Again, late model Sportsman, heat race number 1. Late model Sportsman drivers, heat race number 1. You can make your way to the staging area. So Carball once in front, car length and a half advantage over the 31 of Kirchner, 24 of Cunningham. Right now a very tight 3rd as they come back to the stripe. Going to be the 13W of Vincent Wainwright. He's moved himself up into 4th, and the 26 of Sean Abney. Right now the top 5. And even though he got that lead, Carball can't shake Kirchner. And one spinner, and that is going to be the 31 of Kirchner. Looked like he was closing big time on Carball, but has problems over in turn number 2 when the caution is out. So Carvall will be the leader with 2 laps to go. The 24 of Justin Cunningham, the outside pole sitter, back to where he started. The 13W, Vincent Wenrick. He started back in 6th. He's up to 3rd right now. 2 to go here in our final qualifier. And the field heads off into 1 and 2. Carvall, he had Kirchner as his challenger, and it's not going to get any easier. Here comes Cunningham, right back up to the back bumper as the field works their way back into turn number 3 and 4. Top 2 with a couple of car length separation, but not by much. Wenrick starting way back in the field. He's up to 3rd. White flag in the air this time by. Final lap, and they are very tightly bunched together. No major challenges. They're all single file, but they are stuck together pretty much in 3 different spots down the back straightaway, led by Logan Carvall. He is headed off at turn number 4. Started 3rd, won the battle with Kirchner. Payne holds off the 24 of Justin Cunningham to take that 3rd and final qualifying event tonight. 13W, Vincent Wenrick. Good run for him from the back up into 3rd with a 26. All right, late model Sportsman drivers will be up next. And fans, don't forget, as we get set for the late model Sportsman qualifying, here in just a bit, you will have a chance to go downstairs and see some of these legend cars and drivers up close as their meet and greet will be coming up after our semi-late main event tonight. Coming in this weekend, 3rd in the late model Sportsman points. We mentioned a pretty good battle going on between him, Sean Shoemaker, and Ryan Zook. Shoemaker with a 12-point advantage over Zook and 25 over Bonebreak. So those 3 drivers continuing a good battle with late model Sportsman action points-wise. The other 2 will be in the field for race number 2. Bonebreak from the pole, looking to get his night started off right. It'll be Bonebreak out in front. Atherton to the inside of Cronies. He'll grab 2nd spot. Side by side for 4th. Kirchner to the inside. And Mike Walls, some good 2x2 battles as Ziegler in the 27 also trying to make a move. Walls a little crossed up. He and Kirchner make some contact. As a result, he'll lose a spot to Brandon Bard and gathers it back up right in front of Brian Booz. Meanwhile, going to be the 37S of Bonebreak. He has got himself a pretty good lead. Atherton in 2nd. Kirchner still on the move to the inside of Cronies. He'll grab 3rd down in turn 3 and 4 here at lap number 2. Side by side for 4th. Some battling going on. 3 wide. Booz is going to take advantage of a battle between Bard and Cronies. They exchanged some sheet metal, and as a result, that slowed him down, and Booz was able to go by and get that 4th position. Bard now in 5th. Cronies, Walls, and McNeil back behind him with Bonebreak coming back for lap 3. Kirchner is still on the move. He has got himself up into 3rd quickly, going after the 19 of Danny Atherton. And off of turn number 2, it's still Atherton by a couple of car lengths down the back straightaway as the field gets set for the halfway point here in the first late model Sportsman qualifier. Bonebreak in control. Atherton still holding 2nd. Going to be Kirchner, Brian Booz, and then the battle side by side between Mike Walls and Brandon Bard. Give it to Bard right now in 5th as Walls holds on to the number 6 spot, and we also put lap number 5 on the board this time by. Brian Booz had to make some evasive maneuvers. Cody Kirchner came way down the racetrack off of turn number 4 to try to see to get to the inside of Atherton. That slowed Booz up a little, but the B2 has been on the move. And he joins that 2-car battle for the number 2 spot off of turn number 4. 2 to go this time for Wesley Bonebreak. Great battle. Kirchner has been struggling to get around Atherton. And here comes Booz down to the inside. He wants a piece of the action likewise. Not enough racing room down bottom. For the moment, Atherton has 3rd. And Booz will be 4th. White flag, meanwhile, in the air for Wesley Bonebreak as he comes back to the stripe. Kirchner now by his lonesome in 2nd. Booz will challenge Atherton for 3rd. Here on the final lap tonight, he gets it, but now climbs the bank in big time. And by the time he gathers it back up, it's Atherton that gets back around him for 3rd, and Bard right on the rear deck lid. All the while, the checkered coming out, going to be Wesley Bonebreak, collecting the late model Sportsman qualifier. Kirchner will be 2nd. Drag race back to the line. Atherton will beat Booz. with Brandon Bard in the 94 rounding out the top 5. At the final qualifier of the night in late model sportsman competition. And the 28Z Ryan Zook grabbing that lead. Here comes the 92. Justin Weaver down to the inside of Charlie Schaefer. Mason Strait and Brandon Sieber right now the early top 5 here at lap 1. Now Warrenfeld's trying to dig himself out of a hole. He started well back in the order. Now he punches his way up into the number 4 position. Shoemaker likewise trying to get up towards the front. Ziegler, or make it the Zook machine, the 28Z, number 2 in points, right now holding on. Number 1 spot. Schaefer, meanwhile, holding on as well. The 92 of Weaver giving him plenty of pressure back there in 3rd. Warrenfeld's right now in 4th, and the 44 Shoemaker now makes the top 5 as we get set to put lap number 3 on the board. Semi-late drivers for your main event to the staging area. Semi-late drivers for your main event to the staging area, please. Big lead for Ryan Zook. As we mentioned, he is going to try to see if he can cut in a little bit more to a very slim points lead that Sean Shoemaker has. Shoemaker running 5th right now. Zook back to the stripe. That's halfway. 4 in the books, 4 to go. Schaefer 2nd. Weaver, Warrenfeld, and Shoemaker, they are the top 5. Well, no challenges right now in that top 5. Charlie Schaefer is kind of getting that car dialed in. He had some issues early with Justin Weaver all over that rear deck lid. He's still there, only about a car length separation between those two. 11 of Warrenfeld's, as we mentioned, off to a good start tonight, and the 44 Shoemaker the top 5. And here comes Zook back to the stripe for 2 to go. Well, Zook with a good 3/4 of a straightaway lead. He'll see the white flag when he comes back to the stripe this time. Charlie Schaefer is still holding on to that number 2 spot. Weaver in 3rd. Warrenfeld has closed the gap up in 4th. As Zook heads off down the back straightaway for his final lap in late model sportsman heat race action tonight. And off of turn number 4. So the 2nd and 3rd place drivers in the late model sportsman points collect the heat race victories as Ryan Zook crosses the stripe. Charlie Schaefer, Justin Weaver, Austin Warrenfeld, and Sean Shoemaker will be the top 5. This year as well. Will there be a new face in victory lane, or one of these repeat winners find their way up front? There's still some strong ones yet to collect that victory. We're going to find out in 15 laps as they're stacked up in turn number 3 and 4. Set to go in feature action tonight for the semi-late. It'll be Giesemann grabbing the lead, and the 81 on the outside of row number 1. Swanked a crossover on Schneider. He'll go to the inside. Looked like he was well secured in the heat race win, but problems in the turns. A couple sets of turns for him. Swank trying to hope he got that fixed. As a 22 takes over 2nd spot. Schneider for the moment, he's in 3rd, holding off the efforts of Neff and the 83 of Brian Kearns. And the 99K of Cody Seitz. All the while you heard that top 5 so far after lap number 1. Here comes Steve Kent. Dylan Wilson not far behind him. But some of our previous race winners trying to find their way back up towards the front. All the while one previous race winner, that being the 81 of Giesemann. He's out front and in control right now. Swank tucked in comfortably in the number 2 spot. 03 of Brady Neff also with a little bit of a gap in 3rd. Kearns in fourth, and then here comes the 1C of Kent. He's on the rear deck lid, trying to crack that top 4 off of turn number 4. Sights in the 99K, Wilson in the 65. They're all right there. Kent with a good bite off turn number 2 down low. He's trying to see if he can get to the inside of Kearns. That is the battle on the track right now for the number 4 position, as Giesemann brings it back for lap number 4. And Kent still digging to the inside, trying to make that car work. Kearns in the 83's got him covered on the outside. Caution, meanwhile on the track. And looks like we got the 88Z of Isaiah Miller. Or no, it's another new machine. Who is that? 30 of Gary Breeden, having trouble in the heat race, and followed up with a issue over in turn 3. Feature event, Giesemann's lead wiped out. The 22 is Swank on the outside of that front row. Neff and Kearns back in row number 2. Kent and Wilson, they'll bump up 1 row since the initial start. They'll be in row 3 as we get set to go back to green. And Giesemann gets the better of Swank on the restart. Going to be Kent with a good jump down to the inside. Gets around Neff and Kearns. Moves up into 3rd. Here comes Wilson to the outside of Neff, and now to the inside of Kearns. Great move by the 65 of Wilson. Now the car slides up and makes a little contact. And all the spots he got gets wiped out and almost lost a spot to the 99K of Sights. And now Wilson starts it all over again. Part of a 3-wide battle off of turn number 2. Going to be Kearns in front of him as the leaders head down into turn number 3 and 4. 5 are on the board. Lap number 6 about to be completed this time by. And caution will come out as a result of some of the battling on the back straightaway. There is debris high off of turn number 2 up against the guardrail down the back straightaway. All right, field stacked up again. 9 to go here in our Simulate main event. Giesemann Swank back on the front row, but Steve Kent quickly moving his way up. 65 of Dylan Wilson will be on the inside of that 3rd row, as the leaders make their way back into 3 and 4, and back to green we go. Giesemann grabs the lead away from Swank, who now is in the battle with Steve Kent, who will win that one off of turn number 2. Down to the inside, he gets 2nd spot. Kearns and Wilson, meanwhile, side by side for the number 4 position. Going to be Giesemann, middle of the groove. Kent down low and swung it up high, and Swank was almost right there in his way. Field coming back for lap number 7 that time by. And Wilson still on the move likewise. Disposes of Kearns, now begins to work on the 22 of Swank. He'll remain in 4th. Neff and Kearns, our own battle for 5th as you work it back into 3 and 4. And halfway going on the board this time by. So single file right now as things settle down just a little bit within the front 4 machines. Kearns, Neff, and the 99K of Sights
Yellow flag,
are the next drivers in line, but
but
caution is on the speedway one more time here at lap number 8. And one driver down there in turn number 1 and 2, going to be the 22 machine. And again, Steve Kent, Dylan Wilson continue to make moves up. Kent now on the outside of row 1, Wilson the outside of row 2. So into 3 and 4, going to be Giesemann still trying to get that 2nd Simulate win. Swank looking for his 1st, and green flag back in the air. Giesemann fends off Kent, and it's going to be Dylan Wilson to the inside of Swank. He'll get the 3rd spot. Neff now to the inside of Swank looking for 4th. As the leaders come back, 9 laps will be complete. Wilson with a big move down bottom, trying to make that car stick. He'll drag race, but Steve Kent back to the stripe. Kent will win the battle and hold on to 2nd. Going to be Wilson in 3rd, and right now they're only 2 car lengths back to the 81 of Jason Giesemann. So all 3 of your winners in the field tonight, they are making their way up in the top 3 and working their way back into turn number 4. 5 laps to go here in tonight's Simulate main event. Wilson still chipping away on the bottom side of Steve Kent. And they continue to have a good battle. Wilson may win it off that low side off turn 2 and does indeed. Kent right on that rear bumper. Little shot down the back straightaway. As they work it back into 3 and 4, Giesemann knows the 3-time winner's coming, and he wants that second win as lap number 11 goes on the board. After those 3, the 22 of Jamie Swank still in 4th. And the top 5 made up now by the 88Z of Isaiah Miller. Cody Sykes of the 99K, and then the 03 of Brady Knapp. They remain the drivers in those top 6 spots as Giesemann brings them back for lap 12. Caution once again coming out here at lap number 12 as one driver spinning down in turn number 4. That's going to be the 30 of Gary Breeden. Kearns was out during that green flag run, and now the 03 of Brady Knapp, another driver that was up in that top 5, drops it off into the pit area. And we get set for the restart. Giesemann with Wilson on that rear bumper. Green flag, back out with 3 laps to go. Well, Giesemann leaves that bottom door open, and Wilson may take it. Drag race down the back straightaway. Half car length for Giesemann, but Wilson bolts it down to the bottom side, trying to keep it down as well. Giesemann's going to keep it wound up on the high side. He'll be recorded as the leader of lap 13 and pulls that 81 machine back in front. Wilson still digging down to the bottom side. Steve Kent watching, and now he slips up the banking, and it's a 2-horse race now with the 2.5 laps to go. Wilson still digging on the bottom side, and this time he may have an answer, but Giesemann, he can't quite clear him when he comes off those turns. Giesemann draws even down on the front straightaway. And this time Wilson powers by on the bottom side. Now Giesemann trying the crossover move. He's got good momentum down the back straightaway. They're dead even once again in turn 3 and 4. Who's it gonna be? Giesemann down low, Wilson up top. Good clean racing back to the stripe. The drag race is on, and Dylan Wilson taking the semi-late win by inches over Jason Giesemann. Racing season earned it. It's Dylan Wilson in the 65. Started on the outside of row number 4, and of course a lot of cautions happened, just minor ones for debris and some spins here and there, but little by little making his way up through the field. It was fun watching because when you guys, you and Steve is what I'm talking about, have to start where you have to start tonight. And then some cautions helped out, but each time, inched up. Another row, another row, another row. But by golly, that looked like a fun race for you tonight. A lot of racing good with Jason, a lot of good racing with Steve. It looked like you were having a good time out there.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely enjoyable. I mean, that's some of the hardest racing we've got to do all year. Around partway through, my brakes decided they were going to leave the chat. I can't stop, so I figured, well, I got to hold it to the floor and hope for the best. But it was fun, and they both raced me clean. I was way too tight, so I apologize to either of them if I ended up cutting them off or pushing up, because this thing was wild and hard to control. I just had to drive it for all it was worth and hope for the best.
Well, that aside, and sometimes when you have an issue like that, which is a major issue, sometimes there might be, you have to use another car for a break, or there might be a little bit of beating and banging, but still from our perspective, looked like some good, clean, hard racing out there tonight.
Yeah, that's the goal. I don't like getting into anybody. I don't like getting in disagreements. I mean, we all have too much money in our cars to be getting against each other, beating and banging the way some people do. It just tears up too much worth of equipment. I try not to do it. I got into the 81 at the start of the heat race. I juiced up and hit some slick stuff and pushed up into him, so I'm sorry for that. That was my fault. But yeah, I mean, it was a good race, and everybody in the field, I mean, there's a lot of talent out here. It's definitely not easy when you have to start where we have to start. But and then I followed the 1C up through, and I know he's right behind me in points. I'm just sitting there thinking, man, I got to get by him. Yeah,
you guys got a good tight points battle going down to the wire. I mean, y'all have a lot of races left to go. Well, it's kind of winding down, but everyone has got to be so critical, especially if you're looking for that championship.
Yeah, we're definitely looking for the championship this year, and it's just been a great 2 weeks for us, and most of the people down here know it's going to shock the heck out of my grandparents. But we won last week, and then partway through this week, I found out we're expecting our first child. I'm going to be a dad.
There you go. Give him a congratulations.
And now we get another win and a little bit bigger points lead, so it's been a good week. I couldn't do this without everybody down here. My dad, Brian, Jim, my girlfriend, my family, her family. Seger Racing Engines, Ryan Seger, for all he does, Bollinger Builders, JL Logistics and Excavating, Fairweather Farms, Bun Trucking, Purdy Trucking, Jim Bilger's Garage, Roosted Chassis, Close Racing Supply, and just everybody, the fans, like I like to say, just thank you to everybody.
You know what's impressive? Just as impressive if you're driving tonight, you never look back on the car for one of those sponsors. You had them all right at the tip of your brain.
I'm starting to get pretty good practice at this.
All right. Well, you practice some more in victory lane with that checkered flag and all these fine people. Congratulations on the good news and a great win tonight.
Thank you.
All right, Dylan Wilson, check it in for win number 4 in our simulates tonight.
All right, our legend driver.
All right, field setup led by the Hagerstown Speedway Pace Truck off at turn number 2 as we get set to do battle 15 laps, a final appearance of the 2024 season by the East Coast Legends. Good, strong car counts, 21 in round number 1, 22 tonight here in round number 2. Again, the 7 of Colton Freese, fastest in warm-ups tonight, and he is right on the pole position, the 6B. Jacob Burdett flanking him on the outside. 15 laps of distance as we get set to go in turn 3 and 4. Tonight, the final appearance by the East Coast Legends. Green is out, and Freese and the form of Devin Freese grabbing that early lead. The 30K, Seth Kirchner, quickly from the outside of row 2. Up into second, Devin Freese carving his way up through the field. He's up in the top 5 right now in 5th. As he works it down and tries to make it a 3-wide battle almost in turn 3 and 4 for 3rd. It's going to be Colton Freese right now, the leader of lap number 1. Kirchner in second. To the inside is the 44. Dalton Freese, he's back there in 3rd. Logan Jones on the outside, and that 5J machine, and then the 12 of Devin Freese making up the early top 5. The single file right now for the front 6 positions. And back behind him in that 6th spot, the 24, Justin Cunningham. He started on the inside of row number 3, as it's going to be Freese leading him back for lap number 2. Right, the tire track's going to be the 30K of Seth Kirchner. Only about a car length and a half separation between those two. Devin Freese making the noise. He's to the inside of Logan Jones down the back straightaway. Put the 12 up into 4th. Here in the early going as he runs down to the bottom line. Now washes up the banking just in front of Jones. Lead duo back to the stripe for that 3rd circuit. Running back there in 6th position still is the 24 of Justin Cunningham. As the leader's headed back into turn 3 and 4. Top 2 have peeled away by some 5-6 car lengths as he worked it back for lap 4 of tonight's 15-lap main event. Leading that next pack going to be the 44 of Dalton Freese. Started 6th, right now currently running 3rd. That's under attack right now. Devin Freese to the inside, that 12 machine. Can't quite make that move work off of turn number 2 and falls back in line. Meanwhile, Logan Jones, he's also under attack. He's got the 24 of Justin Cunningham right on that rear bumper. Still the good battle for 3rd continues on as they come back to the line. Going to be a pair of Freeses, the 44 of Dalton and the 12 of Devin. Dalton down bottom, Devin up top, trying to make the high side work for him this time by. And meanwhile up front, Colton Freese opening up about a 3-car length advantage over the 30 of Seth Kirchner. As we are already a third of the way through tonight's 15-lap main event for the East Coast Legend drivers. Back to the stripe, lap number 6 going on the board. Everybody for the moment single file, but there are some tight battles. One little slip and whoever's behind you is going to get you. Kirchner's one of them in that 30K. He stays right in the tire tracks of Dalton Freese in the battle for the lead off turn number 4. As they're back for lap 7, the same can be said back for third. Devin Freese got the spot away from the 44 of Dalton Freese, and they are right there tucked beside each other. Bumper to bumper, Logan Jones back behind in 5th, and he leads a freight train of cars back behind him. 24, Justin Cunningham, the next driver in line. Then it's going to be the 13K, or W, of Vincent Wenrick. He's had himself a good run tonight, started dead last in his heat race, dug his way well up into the order, and now he's got to do the same here in tonight's main event. And right now he finds himself back there in that 7th spot, trying to dig a little bit deeper and move up higher. Devin Freese, meanwhile, breaking away from Dalton Freese and now tries to focus on those front 2 machines. He's about 6 car lengths down and plenty of time to go. Halfway went on the board a while ago. 9 laps will be complete this time by, and we've got a spinner in turn 1 and 2. And the first caution coming out here in tonight's 15-lap feature event. Lights are out. We're set to do battle. 6 laps to go here in tonight's undecided East Coast Legends feature. It's anybody's race up in those front 5, 6 places. And we'll see what happens as the 7 of Colton Freese tries to maintain that lead from the pole starting spot. All right, green flag back in the air as we get set for the final 6 circuits here in tonight's Legends main event. And Devin Freese wasting little time. He'll quickly go to the inside of Kirchner in the battle for second. And for the moment, Kirchner will fend him off. Top 3, nose to tail as they work it back into 3 and 4, but not for long. Freese shoots down to the inside. Now it's going to wash way up the banking, but will he have enough to hold on? The answer is yes. Devin Freese with a great move down in turn 3 and 4 and knocks out the top 2. Going to be Colton Freese in second. Kirchner holding on to third. And then the 24 of Cunningham. He got around Logan Jones moments ago. He's top 5 as they look for 5 laps to go. And caution. Meanwhile, 2 drivers tangled up in turn number 1. Again, the 126 of Dustin Wiles, one of those drivers involved. Looks like the 72 of Matt Grebe. 44 of Dalton Freese. Falling back into the number 6 spot, followed by the 13. Being driven by Vincent Wenrick. He started on the inside of row number 5, back in that 9th position. He's moved up a couple notches in the order. He wants to take advantage of this caution and move up a little bit further. 5 to go as the green flag makes its way back out. And Devin Freese running that line that he likes to run. He puts a 12 down the back straightaway. Colton Freese in his tire tracks. 2 car lengths back in second. Another 3 back to the 30 of Kirchner. A little breathing room over Cunningham as the leaders make their way back into turn number 3 and 4 with 4 circuits to go this time by. Devin Freese has it, but Colton Freese wants to gather it back up, and he'll dive bomb it down into the bottom of turn number 1 and 2, and not going to quite be able to make it happen. Devin Freese keeps the high side momentum and holds on to the number 1 spot. Kirchner in the 30. He's about 4 car lengths back in third, watching the battle between the pair of Freeses as they come back for lap number 12. Still a car length separation. Colton Freese staying to the tire tracks of Devin as they work down the back straightaway. 2 to go, the indication when they come back to the stripe this time. 30 of Kirchner is fading just a little bit, strongly in third, but just losing a little bit more ground to the front 2 machines as they come back for the 2 to go sign. 4th position still going to the 44, and that being the Dalton Freese machine. Top 5 made up by the 5J of Logan Jones as the leaders work down the backstretch. Still in doubt is that victory. Colton Freese right on that rear bumper. He'll make the move down to the bottom side this time. A mirror image of what Devin did. Now he washes up the banking himself, but again, much like with Devin, We thought the high side momentum would hold it, but Devin Freese reassumes that number 1 spot with the white flag. Good battle for the lead and the win coming up in the final lap. Going to be Devin Freese by a car length down the back straightaway. Colton Freese on the tire tracks down the back straightaway. Which way is he going to go to try to make a move in turn 3 and 4? Maybe not quite close enough this time. Devin Freese low to middle of the racetrack and back to the stripe. Devin Freese coming away with the victory tonight, starting back to the 8th position and getting around some top flight drivers to win tonight's East Coast Legends main here at Hagerstown. 7 of Colton Freese coming home in second. To 30 of Seth Kirchner winding up in third. The 44 of Dalton Freese in fourth. And the 5J of Logan Jones are the top 5. Coming up in a few moments, our late model Sportsman finale. Had a great move to take the lead with 2 leaders, and there he is, Devin Freese, your East Coast Legends winner tonight here at Hagerstown Speedway. Well, Devin, number 1, thank you guys very much. It is a pleasure to have you guys here at Hagerstown. The Legends put on a great show. You know, when you talk about, that water does feel pretty good, doesn't it? Don't give too much shock now. You know, when you think about a big track and little cars, people guys say, well, that can't be too entertaining. But you know what? You guys defy that. You make it very entertaining on this dirt track at Hagerstown. It looks like you guys really enjoy being here.
I tell you, we really do. You know, when I was talking to Lisa about it over the winter, about getting us down here, you know, I was concerned about the track being so big with our cars and so forth. And, you know, I talked to INEX down in North Carolina about it, and, for our safety, and they were on board. But I can't thank Lisa enough for what she's done, giving us a track like this. And, you know, after the first race we were here, so many guys come up like, man, that was awesome. Like, get us more races, get us more races. So I know a couple guys didn't come tonight because they thought it was going to rain, so we would have had a full field if not. But still a good car turnout, and the track was just awesome.
Tell me about that move. I know that you had Colton and also the 30 of Kirchner. And it looked like, yeah, there was going to be a good battle going, but I don't think anybody saw that coming. What a great move down in 3 and 4. Tell me, take me through that lap in that corner.
Well, when I was following them there before the caution, they both were glued to the top. And I actually thought, when the restart, I thought Seth would go to the bottom, but he didn't, which kind of surprised me. So, and I thought, okay, we're going into 3. If I'm close enough, I'm going to bonsai it in there and see if I can't clear him. And I did, and you know, Colton got across me over because I saw his nose pull up beside me coming off 4. But it was a great move. The car stuck. I mean, this car was hooked up tonight again, and which I can't thank my guys enough for that. And it was just an aggressive move that stuck and worked out for us.
But you know what's so impressive about this? Even though you got that lead, and we had cautions, you had Kirchner right there. This is a class, and I know the rules package is so very tight. No matter how good a driver is, and it takes a lot of great driving talent, these cars seem so evenly matched, you really can't get away from anybody.
Yeah, no, you really can't. I mean, our tires and shocks are spec'd, and motors are spec'd, and you know, it all comes down to adjustment, air pressure sensitive in these cars, and you know, we made an air pressure adjustment just right before we come out for the meet and greet, and that really helped us a lot.
So what did it feel like to go from a limited late model car to get into one of these little cars that looks like something that you'd sit right in the living room and watch TV with on a Sunday? Huh?
Yeah. People say, how you fit in that thing? But you know, it's great, and I'm having a blast with it. You know, the late model stuff was a blast. You know, I got to thank my mom and dad for that opportunity. We did that for 23 years. But to get into these things, yeah, it's fun. Like, I'm having a blast racing these things, racing with my son and other cars and my nephews, just everybody. It's just a good team effort.
Who would you like to thank tonight?
I got to thank you know, Mom and Dad for getting me into racing back in the day. I got to thank Logan, Brandon, Kelby for working on this thing week in, week out. Rita's from Chambersburg and Frederick. Kurt Martin, David H. Martin, I can't thank them coming on board for the series sponsor. And just so many other people behind the scenes that step up on this. You know, Stacy, just a whole crew that comes along and supports us with food and everything else.
Well, we hope we see a lot more of you guys in 2025. Thank you so much for what you guys did these 2 races.
Yeah, thank you, and thank Hagerstown for having us, and we'll hope we're back.
All right, Devin Freese checking in, your East Coast Legend winner tonight here at Hagerstown. Of Wesley Bone Brave. Very tight late model Sportsman point battle between those 3 drivers. Let's see how they figure into the mix tonight, and many others. Pot shaken up tonight, and we could see another different winner in victory lane as we get set for 20 laps of action. Warren Phelps and Bard from the front row. Warren Felds grabbing that lead early. He's had a good night so far in the 11 machine right off the trailer. And trouble up in turn number 1.
Yellow, yellow. Yellow, yellow. Stay low in 1. Stay low in 1. Complete restart, guys. 11 green flag anytime after the pole in 3 and 4.
Green back out. Warren Felds chooses that bottom line on entrance of turn number 1 and 2. It'll work for him. He grabs the lead. Bard in second. Atherton up to third. And again, trouble down in turn number 1.
Yellow, stay high in 1. Stay high in 1. Yellow, yellow. Complete restart, guys.
So we try it again. Time number 3 going to be Warren Felds and Bard for that third attempt. His time by. Warren Felds choosing that bottom side as this time Atherton gets a little twisted up, and that allows the 44 Shoemaker underneath of him and up into third. Trying to protect that points lead and padded. Shoemaker to the inside of Bard. He's trying to get up to second quickly as Warren Felds will be the leader of lap number 1. Bard, Shoemaker, Atherton, and the B2 of Brian Booz, a great late model winner earlier this year. Now trying to add his name to the win list on the late model Sportsman side. He is on the outside of Atherton. Further up going to be Shoemaker, still chewing away on the 94 of Bard in the ongoing battle for second spot. Warren Felds back to the stripe for lap number 2. Bard still holding a good line through second turn area. Going to be Shoemaker right about a half car length back. Then Booz followed by Atherton. Justin Weaver, Wesley Bonebrake, Ryan Zook, and Cody Kirshner as drivers up in the top 8 positions as they make their way back for lap 3. Weaver not having the success as quickly as he did a few weeks ago when he picked up the victory in that Frankie Gordon number 92 as he works on the 19 of Danny Atherton in the battle for the number 5 position. Weaver trying to make that high side work. Looked like he was trying to do the crossover and come down below Atherton. And those two continue their battle. That is for 5th position. Weaver up top, going to be Atherton down low. And right behind him, side by side, 2 of the top 3 drivers in points, Bonebrake and Zook. And they are trying to chase down the points leader, that being the 44 Shoemaker, who currently is 3rd. 94 of Brandon Bard, his best run to date. And Atherton with ongoing trouble. He's got some right rear damage body-wise on that machine. Moments ago, Weaver got around him. Now Zook disposes of Bonebrake, and Atherton almost loses it again. He's got something broken on the rear of that machine and holding on for dear life as he trickles backwards through the field. All the while, Warren Felds has got himself a very good lead by about a half a turn. The 94 Bard fended off Shoemaker, and he now opens up about a 5-6 car length advantage. Another 10 to 15 back to Booz, the same back to Weaver. Zook is the driver trying to make his move. He's back in 6th position. The 52 of Mike Walls in 7th. Bonebrake is 8th. Kirshner 9th. And Atherton has free fallen back into the number 10 spot. Midpoint down the back straightaway for Austin Warren Felds as he closes in on the halfway mark here in tonight's late model Sportsman main event. 8 laps will be complete of the 20 that will make up tonight's feature so far. This year, Trevor Feathers, Kyle Lee, or make it Kyle Lear, T.J. Myers, Taylor Farling, Tyler Bear, and Justin Weaver. The late model Sportsman winners here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Last year, very competitive again in multiple winners. And Warren Felds, really, with his marquee moment, he's having the best run he's had so far. Grandfather being honored just a couple of weeks ago in the Frank Sagi tribute, and nothing would make him happier than to get that victory in late model Sportsman competition tonight. He closes in on the 76 of Mason Straight as he begins to hit some of the back markers in the field. Straight gives him room. And as he comes off that corner, he'll look at the cross flags halfway in tonight's late model Sportsman main event. And now as he hits lap traffic, he's got a good lead. He now passed some lap cars in there. Great run for the 94 of Brandon Barnes. Still in second, Shoemaker, Booz, and Weaver. They are still the top 5. Everybody evenly spaced out. Ryan Zook back in 6th, Mike Walls in 7th, Bonebreak in 8th, Kirshner in 9th, and Charlie Schaefer rounding out the top 10 as we enter into the second half of this 20-lap main event. And while the leaders make their way back, we mentioned Bard was having a great run. He closes in on Mason Straight, but 2 other drivers closing in on him. Shoemaker's come to life, and here comes the B2 of Brian Booz down to the inside. He's looking for 3rd. Down in turn number 1 and 2, he's got Bard in front. The lap car Mason Straight, but Brian Booz continues to make his move towards the front in the B2 machine. Started back in 10th position, and right now Booz is on the run as he got around Shoemaker moments ago and now closes in on the Brandon Bard machine. All the while, it's going to be Warrenfeld still with about a half straightaway lead as he continues to work lap traffic. Got around the 58 to Mason Straight moments ago. Booz goes to the inside of Bard, and he'll get second as 14 go on the board this time by. 2+2 of Cody Kirshner. His night coming to an end. He pulls it off into the backstretch pits as Warrenfeld gets around Brandon Siebert. Now 2 lap cars between himself and Booz. And this race is far from over as Booz continues to make a run towards the front. 5 laps to go this time by as Warren Felts clears around the 5.56 machine of Eric Roney's. 2.3 seconds separation between those 2 drivers. We mentioned Booz picked up a great late model win earlier this year in that B2 machine and now begins to dissect some lap traffic. He's to the inside of Siebert. Back to the stripe for lap number 16 comes Warren Felts, and Booz can see him. 2.3 goes down to 1.5. That time by a separation of 1 lap car as Warrenfeld's pedaling hard to get to that checkered flag here in tonight's late model Sportsman main event. Booz catching cronies at a very uncomfortable moment and can't quite clear him as Warrenfeld's back to the stripe for lap 17. All the while with that problem that he had in turn number 3 with the cronies machine. The interval is shrinking. 1.1 seconds. 2 laps to go when they come back to the stripe, and Booz isn't letting up. As the top 2 make their way off at turn number 4. 2 to go in tonight's late model Sportsman main event. No matter what, new winner coming in victory lane. It's going to be less than a second advantage, and 2 lap machines. Trayton Lee and Pat McNeil, they may have to be worked on before we get to the checkered flag as we've got the white flag coming out. Booz right down to the tire tracks, and caution on the speedway in turn number 1. Good solid car counts, and the competition is at its level best this year again. We mentioned Trevor Feathers, Kyle Lear, DJ Myers, Taylor Farley, Tyler Baer, and Justin Weaver have all parked in victory lane. Who's it going to be tonight? 2 laps, we'll find out as Warrenfeld brings them back off at turn 4. Single file, the leaders head off into turn number 1 and 2. Warrenfeld's all the way down to the bottom, hit a little bit of bump. Shoemaker going to tie Booz up a little bit. They'll have a drag race for the number 2 spot. Booz fends him off and gets back in the second. Here goes Warrenfeld through 3 and 4. White flag in the air tonight here at Hagerstown as a 3rd generation driver in the Warrenfeld's family looking to see if he can secure his first. It's going to be Booz trying to pour it on. Crate winner earlier this year, looking to do a double dip and win late model Sportsman's. 3 car length separation down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4, and another Warrenfeld's finds himself to victory lane. Austin Warrenfeld's his first late model Sportsman feature event victory. And almost spins it in turn 1 and 2. Probably so excited. The B2 of Brian Booz coming home in second. 44 of Sean Shoemaker will hold that points lead. In third, Justin all the wolves were back away. But he came away with the victory tonight. And there he is, folks. Austin Warrenfeld. Give it up. Austin, number 1, a very big congratulations. What an effort tonight. Lap traffic, obviously fending off Brian Boo's machine and Sean Shoemaker towards the very end. The interval was shrinking as you were working through lap traffic and green flag racing, but I know when you saw that caution came out, you said, I am not losing this race tonight.
They weren't going to touch this thing tonight. It was fast since it came out of the box, and that's how it was staying. They wouldn't get around.
Absolutely. I mean, right off the bat during the warm-ups, the car was super good, and I mean, it looked like it had to make many changes as the night went on.
Nope, we didn't change nothing. All we did was bolt 2 new tires on the back of this thing, and it was fast as could be.
I know it might be a little bit of pressure when you look at that man standing right there and what he's accomplished so much in life. What kind of advice has he given you over the years to help you get to this point where you are right now?
He always tells me to be smooth and steady, and there for the longest time I wouldn't ever go to the bottom of the racetrack. And tonight I won on the bottom because my grandfather's always told me the bottom's where it's at here.
I think if you could have got on the other side of the guardrail and 1 and 2 on the restart, you would have, because you looked like it was a little bumpy down there. You had to be all the way at the bottom.
I was sucked up against it. I believe I trashed the nose on this thing because I was down along it.
Who would you like to thank? I know there's a throng of people that are going to give you a lot of well wishes and hugs and congratulations, but who would you like to thank for this most special moment tonight?
I got to thank my uncle for one. He's put up with my crap for years in this thing, and even go-karts. And he spends all of his money, all of his time on this thing, along with my parents, my girlfriend, my sister, and the rest of my family standing over here. My friend David, he rides his own race car, still makes time for me, cut my tires, groove them, whatever I need, he's there. My pap, he mentioned that I needed to get one done for him before he croaked at the super race, so I'm glad I'm able to do it here tonight.
Well, and I don't want to take away from Austin's thunder because I know it's a special night for him, but Mike, it's really got to be great. This last month has got to have meant so much to you to be a part of the Frank Saggy tribute, all the accomplishments you had during your illustrious career, to be honored by the Saggy family and to be a part of the Frank Saggy, in my opinion, Hall of Fame. You've had that. That was a great honor, and just a few short weeks later, you get another great treat. It's been a good month for you.
This is better than that.
What would you like to say to this young man now that he's finally got this one in victory lane?
I seen the front end fold under on the car, and I thought, oh my God, we're going to lose again. And he just kept going, and the fender stayed on the car. And then I seen Brian Booz coming. I thought, oh man, they're going to get him. And he stood on the throttle and kept it down on the bottom, and he pulled away from him. And I haven't said this for a long time. This is the Warren Phelps night.
It's the Warren Phelps night indeed. Austin, great job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Austin Warren Phelps celebrating in victory lane tonight, another late model Sportsman winner here at Hagerstown.